Okay, so we are here with Kathy. We're going to introduce you to this amazing woman who's going to be at AwakeShift this year. And we can't wait to share a little bit about her background and have her tell about herself, her amazing gifts. So, Davidian, do you want to introduce Kathy?
Sure.
Tell us a little about her.
Kathy is very special to me. I met Kathy at the right time when I was going through a very difficult health crisis and introduced me to Reiki. And I spent many years with Kathy, eventually becoming a Reiki master teacher, and had powerful healing, potent experience with Kathy, and am so grateful and excited to have her be a part of this event to give other people a sample of what I got to experience with Kathy. A lot of it is one of those things that you have to be here because I can't transmit this experience so easily on how powerful I was moved by her and how much I learned. One of my beloved teachers, and I can't wait for you to meet her.
Okay, so tell us how you became who you are today. How did you get here? What's your journey?
Well, just like everyone else, we all are stories. I can't say we have stories. I think we all are stories. My story began at a very early age, which I think many kids right now, they're going through. I My parents were going through a very difficult divorce, and that really hit me. I was 9 years old, and I didn't know what was happening. And then I think that was the starting point of my journey. So that's why I tell everyone that nothing is bad, whatever is happening in your life. It just sets you up for the next part of your story. So I developed a very difficult, very painful ulcer, stomach ulcer. And then no doctor could cure me. I was going to the doctor from doctor to the other one, and then nobody. They were just giving me medications, but I was really, really struggling with that. Until one day my mom said, "Oh, we're going to go to see another doctor." And I said, "No, no, no, I'm not going anywhere anymore." And she says, "I promise you this is the last one." And she was right. That was the last one. Because when I went to this doctor in the waiting room, there was a guy sitting right across from us. And while I was just like, oh my God, I'm in this horrible pain, he asked my mom, what is wrong with him? And then she said, stomach ulcer. And there's obviously no cure for it, but she's suffering. He just looked at me and he said, why don't you meditate? And why don't you become vegetarian? That can heal you. And I'm like, what? Vegetarian? I was born in Iran, the house of kebabs and all the meaty food. And then I said, vegetarian? And I'm telling you, like, this is like maybe 50 years ago. Nobody even heard of it in Iran that vegetarian is, a lifestyle or a diet. So, but for me, that guy was a messenger. And I immediately took it. And I said, okay, what is meditation? And he gave me an address. So I went to that address and then I started meditating with these people, not knowing what I was doing. And then after some time, I realized that was the Hare Krishna temple. So they were meditating and chanting and eating vegetarian food. So I was like, oh my God, this is fascinating. I love it. And in less than a year, my ulcer just was healed. So that was my beginning of my journey. Very interesting journey. So what happened was, of course, again, being in Iran, my parents, they wanted me to really, educate myself and, go also, for higher education. And they wanted me to become a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. So I was just like, okay. I became an engineer, an agriculture engineer. And then, but I never worked with it. I just had it from my mom. And then things happened in my life that I had to go to India. So I went to India at the age of 23, and my whole life absolutely changed. And then, I things happened. This is a long, long story. But then I came to US, and then I started practicing yoga. Meditation. I was doing meditation since I was a kid. I was 18 years old when I did TM, Transcendental Meditation. And then I became certified to teach Transcend TM. And I initiated people to TM. And then I put few movements of yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, and Reiki together. And then my type of yoga, the style of yoga, which I call it Yukta Yoga, was born. When I was doing movements before the Reiki, I always felt something is missing. Something is missing in my practice. I don't know what it is, but so I went back to India. And I went through a lot of trainings, like acupressure, like astrology even, like I don't know what is missing in this. And then I came across Reiki at the Reiki hospital in Madras, India. And I got trained over there by a master who is a pediatrician, but he stopped practicing medicine and he treats people only with Reiki. So then I learned psychic surgery there and, did all these, different things in Reiki. And then I became a Reiki master, and then I went back and I became a Reiki teacher. Then years and years passed, and, I was practicing. I opened 2 yoga studios. I was teaching yoga, meditation, Reiki, practicing Reiki. Then I got involved in NLP, and I did that. And then there was a very sweet woman by the name of Winifred Lucas. She's very, very well known in the NLP and past life regression and, world. At one of the conferences that I was a teacher there, she sat at a table, a dinner table with me, and then she said, I heard about your class today. I heard it was beautiful, but I was taking a nap in the afternoon. I couldn't come to your class. At that time, she was 94 years old. Amazing woman, beautiful woman, with so many books on regression and, hypnosis. And then I said, really, you heard about me? And she said, yes. So you know what, Kathy, I have a suggestion. I said, what? She said, why don't you go get your PhD? And I said, in what? And she said, esoteric studies. You must go get your PhD in esoteric studies. Esoteric studies, what is it? And she says, it is metaphysics. And all you do, and I hear from your classes, you are the best candidate for this. The next day I signed up for my PhD program. They gave me 7 years to finish. My son at that time, he was in high school. And I said, you know what, let's both of us get graduate at the same time. And I finished in like 3.5 years with him. And my thesis was about yoga. And my professor was like, yoga cannot be your thesis. I said, let me write it. And then if you don't like it, I can change it to something else. And he loved it. He accepted it because the yoga that I practice It doesn't feel like it's about angles and touching your toes and, being that flexible only in your body. It's more of a flexibility of the mind and your spirit. And he was like, well, this is a different approach to yoga. And I really love it. So that's my story, and it has been, 30 some years that I have been practicing all of these beautiful things. And my daughter the other day, she was like, well, how long do you think you're gonna work? And I said, till the last day of my life, I would love to do this and I would love to work. And, you know,
So tell us one of the amazing stories that you've had in your work with clients, something that's been, I mean, I know that you've transformed
Oh my
so
God.
many lives.
Oh my God. I have so many, many stories to tell you. To be honest, one of the very interesting stories is David's story. Like, he was like, I was at that time teaching meditation and mysticism at OCC. And he was used to come to my classes. And then when I go to teach the class, I would just see, oh, he's there and he's sitting in the first row of the class. But he looks like a punk, with all the piercing and things. And I'm like, oh my God, he looks so different here. And but to me, it was him. So I go back to my center and he comes, 2, 3 days later and I say, how did you like the class? And he says, what class? I said, you weren't there at OCC? He was like, no, I went to OCC. I said, you weren't in my class. He says, no. So I said, okay, maybe I made a mistake. The second time I see him back again in that class. And I'm like, come on, he's just, joking with me. So I go back again. He comes back and I say, hey, how did you like the class? Be honest. And he was like, I never came to your class. I don't go to OCC. And I'm like, what is he talking about? So a few days later, he just rushed into my yoga studio and says, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. What was it? Did you had a reading from someone?
Is this the Karma Center?
The Karma Center. I had the Karma Center at that
No,
time.
it was Dennis, my neighbor.
Somebody said you have to go study with this woman.
Well, yeah, I was really in a bad way. Doctors couldn't figure out what's going on with me. And Dennis said, oh, you have to see Kathy. And I didn't know anything about what Reiki was. I had spiritual experiences before, but this was my introduction to energy healing. And well, it started my life of service because Reiki was hugely powerful for me. I had an autoimmune disease for 10 years and the Western route wasn't terribly helpful. And I was just like extremely affected by the medicine that was required. This was just otherworldly. After seeing you, that I wanted to learn how to do this myself. I went through all the levels, spent many years with you.
I think what Reiki does, it just creates a karmic relationship as well with people who come to you. I have, people who I know through my, yoga studio that they all wanted to have Reiki. And I have people that I only take referrals. I don't take people from outside. I just take referrals, or if, you come to a conference and you meet me and then you will talk to me. Hey, I was at the conference. And then, they come to me. And everyone is special. Everyone is deep. It's never lost. If I don't see them for 10 years and then all of a sudden we reconnect, it's just like, okay, we've been together for all these years. And it is karmic.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do at the conference.
To be honest with you, I don't know till the last minute of, if I'm getting ready for tomorrow, I will have a whole thing planned. Like if you tell me, hey, you have a whole day, I plan it minute by minute. But when I go there and I see all these people and I channel the energy of these people, I'm like, I have to go this route. Very, very, very unplanned at that moment. I think something just happens, and then I channel the energy of people in the room, and I have an assistant that she always laughed at me, like, you write all of these things, we print it, you put it in the folder, make sure you take my folder, put my folder right where I sit. You don't go through that even one page. I said, because I just feel like this is not going, I mean, no, it doesn't, it will not work. So what I want from a conference, what I want even from a class, like, if I have 3 people in my class, or if I have 300 people in my class, I want them all take something with them. Like nobody leaves my class just say, it was good, because there is a certain vibration, a certain energy that we make certain pathways together. It is not one size fits all. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't. If you're sitting, I have 400. I opened conferences in India with thousands of people. Thousands of people. If you know about the Kumbh Mela in India is like millions of people. And I'm massive. And they called me, they invited me to go to the Ujjain Kumbh Mela, which, is one of the regions that Kumbh happens every 12 years. They invited me to go, and I said, sure. They wanted me to teach a class, to teach classes there. I said, sure, I will come. And they're like, it's thousands of people. I said, I don't care if it is one person in my class or 10,000 people in my class. Really, I do the same thing. I just want to know what these people want, and I just put it together and give it back to them. So what happened was, I'm walking towards this room, not room, it's a tent. Thousands of people, and so many Indian gurus, and so many gurus from Nepal, from India, and everybody sitting. The organizer, which the guy, we called him Swamiji, he's walking towards me, and he says, do you know that you are opening the conference? And I said, who is opening the conference? He says, you. And I said, me? I'm opening the conference. He says, yes, you're opening the conference. And I just thought for a minute, and I'm like, sure. I turned around, I went back to my tent, and I changed. I said, okay, please let me change into something presentable, because I was just in yoga pants, and I was just going to sit there and listen to others. So I went and I changed, and I said, I'm open. I wasn't prepared at all to open that conference, but I did it. And then what happened, that was absolutely miraculous. So, all these gurus are sitting there in first rows in orange robes, and they have all these mala beads and everything. And I asked everyone, please remove your shoes, because I removed my shoes and I went on the stage, and I think that's a sacred place. And I said, please remove your shoes. Nobody even heard me, like, no, I'm not going to take off my shoes. And then again, I waited, and then I said, please remove your shoes and stand up. Well, people, the crowd, they all did what I said. The first 2 rows, 3 rows, no, they're not going to listen to me and stand up and move their shoes. And I waited, and I said, honorable, teachers, gurus, would you please stand up and remove your shoes? So one by one, they did. And we did an amazing opening, because I wanted their energy. I respect that energy. I was a student of many of them, for, either read, their articles or books or something. So I just wanted them with me, because I cannot only by myself open this conference. This is way bigger than me. but I want your energy. I want you to come into my space. And I want to lift this thousands of people. Oh my God. After that is just, part of the history. It just what happened there and how these people were moved and people came and then all the huggings and kissings and oh my God, what was this? I was like, I don't know what happened, but it was the energy of the group. So I have numerous, examples that one of the biggest achievements of my life, for example, was working with a prison system. I was used to go to the prison and just teach the girls in prison to become yoga teachers and, meditation teachers. And one of the girls one day, she was amazing. And I, trained her to be the yoga teacher of the prison. And then she asked me, why do you think I am here? I said, this is your purpose. You have to be here to lead this group. I don't know how many years you're going to be here, but this is your purpose. So just be in the moment, be the yoga teacher here because always they need you. So these are amazing stories that I have from my experience all these years. And it is not only the things that I do for people. I think magic and miracles happen when I learn from you guys. When I go to a class, when I go to a seminar, you think I am your teacher. I am just one. But I have like 200 teachers. I have 300 teachers in that room. That your energy is also teaching me and then takes me where I need to go. So you become my angels. I work a lot with angels. I believe in the energy of angels. I believe in miracles. And I think that, that's the force and that's the energy behind my work. I never take credit for I am doing it. I am the healer. I am teaching. No, we are all in this together. So if you come, I don't say if, when you come to the conference and we get connected, then you learn more about how important it is for you to participate in your own growth and then also helping other people to grow. Because if I say I am the teacher and I know it all, I die right there. There is no growth. I always say, but I always say that with total confidence that I am one of the best students.
So many people coming are going to be part of the human design, which is what, of course, the methodology that we use in so much of our work. And many people, of course, we have a lot of spiritual clients and people coming, but if people have never been in this kind of energy before, what can they expect explaining to people who may not know anything about this kind of vibration and frequency?
Even better, come with no expectation. Because if you have expectation, I'm going to go to this conference because I want to achieve A, B, C, D, E, F, you're going to be very, very disappointed. But if you come to the conference with absolute no expectation, miracles happen. Magic happens there.
Definitely.
Beautiful.
I just want to add the interesting connection between human design and Reiki. In human design, there's something called passenger consciousness, which is when the mind wants to claim everything as I'm the one who did it. I created that. I did this. And in the same way that in Reiki, it's not your energy. You're blessed and grateful to be a channel of what is using you to serve others. It's moving through you. And in human design, we have passenger consciousness where we surrender our authority to our body.
Mm-hmm.
and it's the body's life.
Mm-hmm.
And stop getting in the way of that. And part of that is to stop claiming everything as yours, even our ideas. What did we do for that brilliant idea to pop into our head?
Mm-hmm.
But we claim it as, I have this great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're a receptacle for the idea.
Exactly.
Like you are a receptacle for the energy that moves through you in Reiki, if you're blessed enough and have the opportunity to become truly attuned and learn from an absolute master,
Mm-hmm.
maestro
Yeah.
of energy as I
Yeah.
was. But part of that is not claiming everything. And it's a new way of living. And it's really a part of what we need to move more into. Particularly for me, I have good ideas all day long. And historically, like many people who have good ideas all day long, we'll write down our ideas in a little diary and stick it in a drawer, and they just stay there stationary. Right. And actually, ideas, the world we want to move into requires your good ideas and the discernment to know, is this something that I am here to do? If not, then let them go. It's like you're this flow of energy that keeps happening needs to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
If we are all wanting to go into a better world, we're going to need all of us to work together. So don't hoard your good ideas. Try not to claim them all as your own, and share the good ones you're not going to use.
Exactly. Exactly. If you're seasoned in this path, I mean, if you are a Reiki healer, Reiki master, Qigong master, or you are no, none of the above. I think all of us, even when you are giving me the opportunity to share my experiences and speak at the conference, I come with no expectation. Oh, it was very interesting. I was teaching a class at the American Board of Hypnotherapy. And then one of my students, he came to me and he asked me, how many people do you think you're going to have at your class? Because your time that they gave you is the worst time. It's like 2 p.m. It's after lunch. And I don't know if anyone will show up for your class. I looked at him. I said, are you coming? And he says, yes. I said, then we're going to have a beautiful class. And he laughed. He says, are so easy to please. I said, what else? Are you coming to my class? He said, yes. I said, oh, then they have a class. So that day, I had a CD player that I took with me to give meditation and play background music and in that conference. And then I put it on a table and put my cards and everything next to that CD player for people to take. Well, underneath that table was empty, right? Well, it was a space. Our class got so full that people were sitting under that table. And I just looked at him and I said, we have a class. And he was like, oh my God. And he was so worried about this class will be empty. And I said, but if even 1% comes to the class, we are good. We made it. So come like that. Come really clean and ready. And because you might not, okay, I think we are all road signs for each other. Someone to say, hey, this way. Hey, you go that way. Hey, you do this. You might become a big part of someone else's life. You know, and you might shift and change someone's reality. So come with, be open to receive and very open to give, very generous to give. That is my, we're going to have fun. Come for a fun day. I will have a lot of things planned. I don't promise you that I'm going to go through that plan, but I will do something that you're going to leave the class that day and you say, it was worth it. So I know that.
No doubt about that.
All right. So I just want to say to end this amazing video, this conference is going to be a magical weaving of all of these beautiful people and energies. We're going to have just this incredible frequency and wave of beautiful beings bringing their gifts and magic to all of you. So I look forward to meeting you all in person and having an amazing journey through this spiritualized human design conference, AwakeShift. We hope to see you all there.